Thanks, Alex. It looks like spring is indeed finally upon us. We're beginning to see temperatures rising. Today was partly cloudy with an overcast, but struck a warmer high of 52. Tomorrow is looking nice with a high of 55 and mostly cloudy skies. The weekend is also looking nice with highs in the mid-50s and partly cloudy skies as well. The weather will continue to be warm on Monday with a high of 57, but we are expected to see some rain showers. And the sun will appear again Tuesday with partly cloudy skies and a high of 47. I hope everyone has a nice and safe weekend. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Candace. As we hopefully get better spring weather, we can expect to also see our spring teams out and about here on Springfield College. All teams have begun their spring seasons and are now taking on the chilly weather as they practice outside for the remainder of the year. We sent out reporters to get the inside scoop on a few of this year's spring teams. Let's take a look.
The softball team here at Springfield College is fresh off a trip down south, where they spent spring break playing 10 games in Florida. On the trip, the Pride went 3-7, including 2 victories over Northeast Region foe Endicott, as well as a victory over Augsburg. Although a dismal record, head coach Julie Pirelli is satisfied with where her team is at.
Well, I think it's going pretty well so far. We have some great returning talent coming back and playing really well, and we have some great new talent coming in. So 7 of the players are freshmen, and we start 5 of them at any one time. So we're rolling. We're actually doing some really great things, and we finished the Florida 3-7, but many of those losses were 1 or 2 run games, and we're right there. We just got to turn the corner a little bit.
Contributing to the Pride in the early goings is freshman outfielder Jenna Webb. The Harrison, New York native leads the team in batting average, runs batted in, and on-base percentage through 10 games.
It was a little pressured coming in because I've never played with them before, and it's like a new group of girls, but they're so welcoming and have helped me transition to the college level. So.
Most recently, the Pride hosted Manhattanville Wednesday. Springfield took the first game of the doubleheader, led by a career-high 6 RBIs from Webb. In the second game, 5 runs in the top of the 7th inning separated the Valiants from the Pride, taking an 8-3 victory. Up next, the Pride will host the Owls of Keene State Thursday night back at Porter Field.
It's really good for us because we saw how we can play against these teams, and we didn't get blown out once. We fought all the way till the end, and it showed it today in today's game. We blew out the first team, and we know what we have for skills, and we're going to take it.
Springfield College men's volleyball team improved its win streak to 13 games with a win against Rivier College Tuesday, March 26th. Mike Pelletier was a standout as he had 10 kills and John Cohen also added 9. The Pride are now 20-3 and are behind only Nazareth College in the national rankings. We caught up with head coach Sullivan and senior captain Greg Falcone to discuss the success of this season.
We're just trying to get better, make our weaknesses our strengths at this point, and peak at the right time. You know, we know we're not going to be playing our best volleyball in March. We're looking to play our best volleyball in late April. And, you know, right now we're just going in every day with a good attitude and trying to get better.
Coach, do you have anything to add to that?
No, yeah, I think the guys had a really good effort this year of concentrating practice and making improvements. And we've definitely seen a lot of our parts of our games improve in our matches. So it's been a really good year in that regard. Well, Greg here next to me just became the all-time leading blocker in the program's history, so that's a pretty big contribution. Significant to be on top of that list in the history of the program since 1955 or something like that. So Greg's doing a really good job, getting better, and you know, all our senior class is doing a really good job. We have Pell on the outside, 2 opposites, Alistair Matthews and John Cohen doing an awesome job, and Freitag in the middle. We just have a large shred of our senior class, Evan Akinford the outside too. I think all the seniors are doing a really good job.
I think it's just keep the competitive level that we have in our gym. You know, this is a great asset to have the talent and depth that we do. So going against that every day, kind of, you know, the tempo we have every time going against our teammates definitely helps us. And I think going forward, that'll be a big help.
We're getting close to April, and April's a celebratory month for us, and we are certainly going to be tested. So minute to minute, day to day, week to week, we have to get good folks and good improvement to be able to withhold and have some resolve in April. We're looking forward to it.
All right, thank you guys.
The Pride have 10 regular season games left, and
before they get ready to defend their Division III title next month in the Division III Championships in Cambridge, Massachusetts. In that 10-game stretch, they have 5 home games, including a marquee matchup against Rutgers, New York on March 29th, and Southern Vermont twice in that stretch as well. I was able to catch up with senior setter Mike Becker after the Pride victory against Revere on Tuesday night.
It's been really great. We a lot of cohesion between the team. Only losing one senior from last year benefits us in a lot of ways within the practice court and all that. And it's always great playing against players that could start anywhere else and having them on their second team. The biggest difference is we haven't gotten there yet. Pretty excited to get there. We have 7 or 8 more matches to go. We've got to make sure we focus on all those first. But looking forward to it. The biggest obstacle is probably ourselves. As long as we stay mentally tough, mentally focused within practice and our matches and all that, we should be fine.
The Pride will look to finish the regular season strong and go into the Division III championships with a lot of confidence and momentum. For SCTV3, this is Barry Bois and Evan Shomo.
Good luck to all those starting off their seasons, and congratulations to those who have finished their seasons. In fact, this week on my weekly feature, Inside the Pride, I was able to catch up with the national champion, Devin Piscaja, and the ever-so-sweet and extremely talented Brittany Baglow. Here's the feature and a look at what they had to say about their final performances. After a week away from campus, we're back with this week's episode of Inside the Pride. I'm your host, Bree Hill. Since our last show, there's been lots of exciting happenings in Springfield College athletics, with teams playing in tropical locations during their spring break and others competing in their national championships. All told, Springfield College had a total of 23 All-American recognitions over the past few weeks. 4 of those honors came during the NCGA Women's Gymnastics Championships in Whitewater, Wisconsin over the weekend. Senior Brittany Baglow finished 3rd in the all-around, capping off a magnificent comeback senior campaign.
So at the end of last season, I ruptured my Achilles. It was pretty much a fluke accident, and so that put an end to my season. So that was very devastating, but I got surgery and was looking forward to coming back in September. I would have had a 6-month recovery, but I re-ruptured my Achilles right after school ended in May, so I got surgery again. So at that point, I was kind of, I don't know, I still wanted to come back. I wanted to try, but I didn't know. But, I just kept plugging away, kept working hard, and, I put in that work, and I, learning from the second surgery, I took things slow and, let things happen as they came, and, I prepared and left the results up to God. But yeah, that had been my goal all through my career in gymnastics, is to compete all around, because I love all 4 events. It's hard. But it's just my love of the sport that keeps me going, and I hadn't hit 4-for-4 routines all season. I'd always had a fall or a mess up on one event, so, going into it, I was, I hoped to hit, 4-for-4 and hit my beam routine, because I'd been struggling with that with a lot of falls. So to be able to make it to finals on balance beam, I was just like, wow, finally I hit it and was able to hit it again. And doing that in the all-around was awesome, and I could have just been happy with that. But to make it into other events was, wow, oh, wow, I got 2 more routines. Especially knowing that those are my very last routines. I wanted to go out there, I wanted to do my best. And, I told myself I'd be happy with whatever happened, even if I didn't do as well as I wanted to. It's okay, because I just wanted to enjoy my final routines of gymnastics ever. Going into the competition, I was just ecstatic to have qualified in the all-around, to make it to nationals, and to be able to compete all 4 events again. was just so exciting for me. And so just to make the nationals was an accomplishment in itself. But, you know, receiving those honors and being able to do as well as I did, I was not expecting that at all. And it was just, you know, it was a thrill and just an awesome way to end, you know, my career. It's been an amazing experience overall. Coming in freshman year, I knew I wanted to do gymnastics, but coming into Springfield College was a great team support, great coaches, great athletic department, so much support, and I just thrived on that. You know, everyone I've met here has just touched my life in so many ways, and all the support I've received throughout being injured and competing is just, you know, it's helped me get to where I am, and I would have never been here without everyone.
On Saturday, March 16th, junior Devin Biscaha etched his name in Springfield College history books, becoming the first NCAA Division III wrestling national champion. His rise through the wrestling ranks the last few weeks en route to claiming a national crown has been a remarkable one, and I sat down with him to talk about it.
Well, when you're wrestling at national duels, that's the best competition, I mean, in the country or thing, so you're getting the best guys out there and really seeing, you know, what the best guys are capable of and how you match up against them, and kind of makes you believe, like, you can do it. Right off the bat, I had to wrestle this 6-seeded kid, and I mean, I hadn't wrestled any of those kids ever seeded except for Chris Bird, so I didn't really know what to expect, and once you beat one of them, you know, you realize that other guy's only, you know, 2 seeds better than him, and I just beat that guy, you know, by a couple points, so maybe I could get this guy now. And then as you just kept rolling and rolling and rolling, and getting to that third place match gave me a lot of momentum. And then that kid for the third place match was a returning All-American, and he was a top seed in the tournament and stuff, so beating him, I mean, really got me rolling on my way into nationals, knowing, you know, I beat a kid who's done it before. I mean, with Eric Hamrick, having him in the room, it's good to really have a competition like that. You don't see that many other places where you have 2 people that are really that good pushing for the same spot. So it's really good to have someone like him and start from the beginning to know that's a lot of pressure on your back, knowing you're going to have to wrestle him at the end of the year to get the spot. Every class I walked into today, there's people saying, oh, you know, national champions here, people clapping as I walk in. So it's a lot of fun. Got a lot of hugs around campus today, so that's really cool.
That'll do it for this week's episode. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Bree Hill. We'll see you next week. Congratulations again to those 2 and everyone who finished their winter season. Head football coach DeLong received an exciting phone call just a few weeks ago from former Springfield College football player himself, John Cena. DeLong was notified that Cena will be visiting Springfield College campus before his up-and-coming match this Friday. That's right, John Cena will be wrestling for his Road to WrestleMania tour tomorrow night at the Mass Mutual Center. The show will also feature superstar wrestlers Sheamus, Ryback, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and a few others. It's scheduled to start at 7:30 p.m. If you're interested in supporting the famous Springfield College grad, tickets to the show can be purchased at wwe.com/events.
And for more on the sports scene, the 2013 NCAA men's basketball tournament is well underway, and an eventful first weekend showed us why the tournament is nicknamed March Madness. Even though most of the favorites are on their way to the Sweet 16, there was no shortage of upsets early on. From Cinderella, Florida Gulf Coast to LaSalle, there were plenty of upsets to make the madness go around last weekend. I have a full recap of last weekend's games as well as a preview of the Sweet 16 coming up now. The 2013 NCAA men's basketball tournament has been nothing short of amazing. Over in the Midwest bracket, number 1 Louisville has looked like the number 1 overall seed. They've run over number 16 North Carolina A&T and number 8 Colorado State. They'll get a chance to take on the Cinderella Oregon Ducks, who were a 12 seed in this tournament. The Ducks knocked off the Oklahoma State Cowboys in the first round before defeating the St. Louis Billikens in the round of 32. While the Ducks are a solid basketball team and have played great ball through the first 2 rounds, it'll be tough to expect them to knock off Louisville, who finally looks like they're clicking. On the other side of the Midwest bracket, Michigan State finds themselves in the Sweet 16. The 3-seeded Spartans defeated Valparaiso in the first round and defeated Memphis. Michigan State will get a chance to take on Duke. The Dukies knocked off Albany and Creighton in this tournament, with Creighton giving them a little bit of a run to the end. While Duke looks to avenge last year's first-round loss to a 15 seed, this will by far be their toughest matchup against Sparty. This will be a great game, but I do expect it to be Michigan State that knocks off Duke. In the South, Kansas has had an easy run to the Sweet 16, knocking off Western Kentucky and UNC. They get to take on the Michigan Wolverines. The Wolverines knocked off South Dakota State and VCU to get to this position, and they're playing some of their best basketball of the year. It'll be tough, but I do expect Kansas to move on in this game. On the other side, Florida's had an easy run, knocking off Northwestern State and Minnesota, both with relative ease. The 3 seed, who was a Final Four pick of mine, gets to take on an unexpected opponent. It's in-state rival Florida Gulf Coast. The 15 seed Gulf Coast team knocked off number 2 Georgetown with a 10-point victory in the opening game. Adding to that, they knocked off San Diego State in the round of 32 by 10 points again. While nobody expected Gulf Coast to be here, nobody's expecting them to knock off Florida as well. While they haven't garnered too much respect in the media yet in terms of competing with these big teams, Florida should not look easily upon Gulf Coast. While I do have Florida winning this game, this will be a tough one. Down in the East, Indiana has run over James Madison and Temple, and they'll get a chance to take on Syracuse. The Orange beat up Montana by almost 50 points in their opening game before squeaking out a 6-point win over Cal. Syracuse is a team that has always been there for disappointment in the tournament and look for that to continue on. Indiana was the preseason number 1 for a reason and expect them to show that tonight. Marquette is the 3 seed. They knocked off Davidson and also beat Butler, who is most people's surprise team this year, to get to the Final Four again, although Marquette was able to knock them off by 2. On the other side will be Miami, who ran over Pacific and beat Illinois by 4 last weekend. Miami is a team that I have in the championship game, and I believe they'll take care of business against Marquette in meeting Indiana in the East Finals. And finally, the West bracket, where 1 seed Gonzaga was defeated by Wichita State. Wichita State also defeated Big East opponent Pittsburgh in the first round, and they have a chance to get to the Elite 8 this year. Who they'll be taking on is a bigger Cinderella, LaSalle. LaSalle knocked off number 4 Kansas State before defeating number 12 Ole Miss in the round of 32. While both games have been dramatic and close finishes, it appears LaSalle is a team that could make a run once in this tournament. Wichita State, I am expecting to win, even though I had Gonzaga winning my whole bracket. But I do expect Wichita State to win this game and make it worthwhile. On the other side, Arizona ran over Belmont and the Harvard Crimson to get here. They take on Ohio State. Ohio State is expected to win that game in my mind, but the 2 seed can't sleep on the 6 seed Arizona team. Tonight, for the NCAA tournament, Marquette will take on Miami. Arizona goes and takes on Ohio State. Wichita State plays LaSalle, and Indiana will take on Syracuse. Friday night's action includes Michigan State Duke, Louisville, Oregon, Kansas against Michigan, and Florida against Florida Gulf Coast. For SCTV3, I'm Alex Thomas. Well, that's all we have for you here this week, ladies and gentlemen. For SCTV3, I'm Alex Thomas.
And I'm Bree Hill. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Have a safe and happy Easter, everyone.